right, welcome back to Morning Live. Now, yesterday we saw Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa giving public support to the Treasury strip to the spring meetings of the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund, which is the IMF. This will take place between the 21st and the 23rd of April in the US. Now, these meetings bring together central bankers, ministers of finance and development, the private sector, academics as well, and executives to discuss a variety of global issues, including poverty eradication. Now, South Africa's Minister of Finance, Malusi Gigaba, and his deputy, Sifiso Buthelezi, will also be in attendance. And now the Deputy Minister of Finance, Sifiso Buthelezi, joins us this morning here in our studios in Johannesburg. DM, good morning to you, and thank you so much for coming through.
Good morning, Felisa. Thanks for having me
And
here.
I think we're chatting you for the very first time here on Morning Live, so let's take this opportunity to congratulate you on your appointment. How has the journey been?
Thank you very much for the congratulations. It has been about 2 weeks, but it feels like 2 years.
Has it been a bumpy ride?
It has. We had to hit the tarmac running.
Yeah.
But quite an experience.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But talk to us about the overall reception. I know that you've been able to meet with some stakeholders. Mm-hmm. How has the reception been?
I think the most important thing was that on a Friday, after the announcement on midnight on Thursday, I got a call from the Minister, Malusi Gigaba, that we should have a meeting before even my swearing in. Then we met the DG, Efuzile Lungisa, who welcomed us to the department, because I think that's very important, that there's all this infrastructure which is there in the department. So he took us through a few things as to what was happening in the department. But guess what? On that very same day, he gave us a present of South Africa being downgraded to sub-investment grade by S&P even before we started.
And we were even surprised, because I remember the minister saying that he met with some of the rating agencies. Yeah. But to our surprise, South Africa was downgraded.
No, what happened on the very same day, after having learned from the DG about the downgrade to sub-investment level, we decided, let's talk to those rating agencies which had not taken action, that is Fitch and Moody's. Yes. So we on a teleconference, we started talking to them, basically saying that nothing has changed. You still have got the whole National Treasury team. You only have got a new captain, and perhaps, if you like, a vice captain, with the same policies, with the same objectives of seeing South Africa prospering. So that's that. As I was telling you before, that the following day we had one of the longest press conferences I've ever seen. Yes. But we decided that we needed to meet people. People wanted to hear us, what mandate we had. Yeah. And the mandate was very simple. They take South Africa forward. Remember that Minister Gigaba had been with the cabinet for about 13 years. I've been a member of the Standing Committee on Finance. So basically, and coming from the same party, same policies, same programs that we needed to continue from where our predecessors were before we joined.
All right. No, I do believe that South Africans wanted just that assurity that nothing is going to change, especially in terms of policies. Yeah. Now, DM, in terms of your spring meetings, we know that these meetings provide a platform to discuss a variety of global issues, like I said on my introduction, including poverty eradication. What are some of global issues that impact on South Africa?
I think let's remember that since 2008-2009 global economic crisis, many countries have experienced, including ourselves, slowing down of economic growth, right? And obviously that impacts on all of us, especially the poorest of the poor. So that's why, for instance, from the World Economic Forum at the beginning of the year, the question of inclusive growth became very, very important. You'll remember that before even 2008, there was economic growth in many economies, including ours. Yes. But the question of inequality, it's something which is threatening the world stability. So I think basically, especially from the emerging economies, that's what we're looking at. How do we achieve inclusive economic growth? I'll tell you, Palisa, that people always talk about time bombs. As far as we are concerned, here in South Africa, the biggest time bomb which is facing us is inequality. To have Alexander next to Sentin, to have Khayelitsha next to the affluent Rondebosch, Mowbray. Those are the things that we need to deal with. Ne? Squalor adjacent to opulence. Those things, we need to deal with those things. Otherwise, you have very unstable economies. In fact, what we know is that unequal societies are the most unstable societies.
Yeah.
And once you have got unstable societies, investors don't go there. So while we look at many other things, I think the main thing that we are taking there, and which is being discussed by governments and role players from emerging economies, is that let's deal with this inequality. Yeah. Let's have inclusive growth.
Yeah, I wanted to say so, DM, because some of the countries that you will be engaging with in Washington, they have beautiful growth numbers at about 4 to 6.8%. And South Africa, we're sitting at 0.8% to 1.6%. What is your strength going forward?
I think we should also say thank you to the foresight of the South African government, because 2008, 2009, when there was the crisis that we experienced, the government decided that we're going to spend on infrastructure, right? For instance, in the next MTF now, we're looking at about R1 trillion. That let's spend on the MTF. Because if we didn't do that, we would have easily gone into recession. Yeah. But why is it important to spend on infrastructure? Infrastructure, I always say, is an input to private sector. We are creating favorable conditions for economic jump-starting, right? So that's what we decided to do. And private sector benefited from that, and we were able to create some jobs under a very, very, very challenging economic global situation. So I'm saying that's very important. I think we don't appreciate that good enough.
Yeah.
That because what would have happened, it's very easy under those conditions that the government also holds back, and then that chokes the whole economy. So what we are saying is that we are committed, one, to fiscal discipline. That's very important. We keep on saying wherever we are that you can't spend money that you have.
Yeah.
So within the budget that we are having, it's very important that there are things that we don't lose sight of, that we continue with our infrastructure spend, but also to continue providing the safety net for the poorest of the poor, right? Because we should be very careful that we don't lose those people while we're looking at the numbers and the ratios that we always concern ourselves with.
DM, we're running out of time. I know that you're leaving today with the minister, but there are some concerns that you're not taking business and labor with. Why the decision not to take them along? Because that's how it usually happens.
Yeah, we heard that. We've been consulting with a number of our role players. We've been meeting business, but usually the delegation will not just include business. It will also include labor and members of civil society. We have not been able to consult everybody. So this is not your typical roadshow. We'll go there. We're still organizing the roadshow where we'll take business. Right. I was surprised to hear a business on the media complaining about that, because I thought they are on speed dial. We've communicated with them. We would have explained this thing. It's not a crisis. We're still going to organize this. We're going to take all the usual stakeholders that we take with when we go and meet investors and potential investors. So they should just come down. There's no problem. We'll definitely be going through that
Do you
process.
think you're going to be able to convince Moody's rating agency otherwise?
We should. For instance, if we're looking at the exchange rate, it's very resilient. It means we've been able to say all systems go. We are having people from the same government. We're very conscious of what we need to do and what is it that we don't need to do. We have got a very intact national treasury team. We have got intact government. We have got intact Chapter 9 institutions. So democracy is working.
All right. Now, DM, we'll leave it at that for now, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed. There you have it. That's the Deputy Minister for Finance, Sifiso Buthelezi, talking to us about the spring meetings that will feature seminars, regional briefings, press conferences, and many other events focusing on the global economy, international development, and the world financial system. Let's take a break here on Morning Live. When we come back, we'll talk some cybercrime. Stay tuned for that one.